everyone, welcome to Creole Life. My name is Temilula Precious and we have an amazing guest in our midst today. We'll be talking about something that is very important, and that is a believer in our workspace. Like, how should a believer act at work? Is there a different life with my work and my spiritual life, or my life in church and all of that? And today we have the perfect person to talk to, Isaac Amos. Pastor Isaac, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, it's a privilege to be on Creole Life. Creole Life us. I Creole Life us. So this is one of the best friends I have on earth. So
anyways, yeah. So back to the topic. Yeah, I said we're going to be talking about believers in their workspace, and you work in a corporate body. So
yes.
Yeah, so that's why you're the perfect person to talk to, because someone like me now, I'm an entrepreneur, so you're like, you don't get it, you're at work. So how do you, how do you still be a believer at work? Or is there a way, is it that when you're at work, you're a different person, you're a work person now? And when you're out of work, then you're a believer? Or how do you be a believer even when you're at work?
So I don't really think the Christian has a segmentation of lives.
Okay.
So so there is, I do not at least personally believe there is something called spiritual life, marital life, work life, social life or something like that. So what we are really, the life that we live is just one life, and it's the life that Christ gives, basically. So all I do is just live that life wherever I find myself, truthfully. So I just listen to the Holy Spirit. I just do what is expected of me as a Christian. I just try to embody Christ, to really put him on display really at work. So that can come in different kind of ways, depending on how the situation presents itself. So it might be responding in a very good way to a very rude person. It might just be actually just doing your work very well. I think some of the things that I've learned in recent times is to really leverage the strength of Jesus. I think I made a video about it for work too, in the workplace, and because you really have to be, so for people who are creative, you have to do some very mentally intensive activities. Right? So you discover as a Christian that you have less work to do. It becomes more easy for you to really be excellent in work as you begin to look at the life of Christ that is on the inside. So I would really say there's no dichotomy really. There are no separation. There's no separation for the Christian between his work life and the spiritual life. The person you should be in church. Not at all times. You cannot just be speaking in tongues and be doing Bible study in church, but you can still talk to God at work. You can still reach out to someone at work, like the basic thing. You can still edify people outside of work, fellow Christians at work. You can still do some sort of this was what God was sharing with you during the week. I think it makes sense to you. And someone that doesn't really believe, you can still be that you can still obey that love your neighbor as you do yourself. So I think that's what I think basically.
I think that's a very profound answer, because we really do not have that segmented life that when you're here you behave like here. When you're in Rome you behave like a Roman, when you're in church you behave like a church person. We are one person. Christianity they say is a lifestyle. I think that we have heard that in the comment of time. But yes, so I think I've heard questions like, okay, we are in this kind of world that don't show your religion at face, you're at work. Don't tell me about Jesus at work. And so how do you bring your values? Let's say you work in a place, or should I just say, because this workspace or this particular job I'm about to get, I don't think that we have the same values, so because of that I'll not take it. Or should I just shoot my head and take it and say I'll bend my ways? How do I maneuver something like that?
So so where I work is a different kind of corporate setting. It's a much more liberal corporate setting. What I mean liberal is there are a lot of free thinkers, a lot of free-minded people, and it's just corporate America basically. And then for those of you that are watching in corporate America and you guys are really involved in that kind of setting, you know that sometimes you see people on their Twitter or on their LinkedIn says, my opinions on this social media does not reflect the opinions of my employers. Alright, like it does not reflect, so my employer will not be held liable for anything that I say. Alright. But I don't have that on my profile, and I am very vocal about Jesus. And truth be told, you find people of like mind doing what you're doing or want to work with you because of your faith. Alright. And also based on what the question you asked before, there is this obvious sense of who this person is at the workplace, like the colleagues at work. There's an obvious sense that they know that this is what Isaac is about. Like I literally tell them that, hey, I would not be available during this time because I'll be at church. I work remotely though, but it's something I can say I have to. It might be different if I was working in person, but I still believe that if I had to go to church at a particular point in time, I will be able to communicate that. And one of the things that I think would help is, in my mind, I'm thinking like, I have the life of Christ within me, and there's what Jesus would have me do, and there's the energy that and the power and the favor with men that He will supply to help me live the life that I'm living. So, firstly, I do not come off as, hey, I'm disturbing my life, I need to do this. There's a way I present the fact that, hey, like Chief, I need to do this. I need to be at church during these times, and I'll not be available. Alright, that's just within the company itself. Like I like Wednesdays and Friday. They might forget, and I remind them every time. Like, why haven't you responded? I'm like, I remember I told you that on Wednesdays between 12 p.m. EST. It's like this particular time. It's like 4 p.m. EST. I am not always available, and that occurs on Friday. So my job is to remind them every time. But also, you know, facing. Now that, okay, I'm the CMO, so it's a different ballgame. If I was just an employee, it's a different thing, but now I'm the CMO, so almost like the face, basically, of the company. And so that's a lot risky, because you might be thinking, oh, some people might not want to work with you because you have this sort of bias, and they think, hey, this spooky people. But I don't think that has been the case with me. If there has been any reason why anyone does not want to work with me, I don't think I have ever known that it's because I'm a Christian. They probably might have had that thought in their mind, and I would not know. Like, they just look at you from afar and say, I don't want to work with you because you're a Christian. But I've not had anyone come into my DM and we get talking and they get to know that I'm a Christian and then they back off. I don't think I've had that experience. I think the opposite has been the case, that I have been sharing my faith regularly. And I think in just 1 week, I had someone like really feature me and say people that I'm really being influenced by on this app, and it's on Twitter. So Twitter is known for hate and all of that, but you can see that positive thing. Like, I saw the Nigerians, like people that I've been learning from. And what do I post most of the time? I post, like, if you go on my TikTok bio is like brand strategy and Jesus all day. My Twitter, you see Jesus. Like, I am really big on the life that Christ gives. Like, that's what is there. Like, is either you do that, or is either you believe that, or you accept that, or you find a way to work. But I don't think I really do show my values. I really do put it out there. I post my stuff, and I've connected with Christian entrepreneurs. Like, I'm into like, at least my work is within the VC community, venture capital community, and I've seen people reach out to me and say, oh, really nice. I've had someone talk to me. I was like, oh wow, so how are you managing in corporate America with just putting out your faith there? And I'm like, I just do what I gotta do, because Jesus is more concerned about his work and expressing his life through me than I am about doing that. And the more I begin to look at that, the more it becomes easy. There's no pressure, and I'm not able to really crumble under the hate speech or the bad feedback that I get. So for me, it's more of a personal thing than how I look. And I think that's working well for our company. Nobody has complained as of yet.
I think that's really amazing. I think I got a lot of things from what you said. First thing that made sense to me was when we were talking about how that, Jesus is really concerned about his work and all that. And the truth is, we will not cut off our face because they don't like the way we look. And Christ is our identity now. So we can't cut off our identity from who we are. So I like the fact that, yes, you are really putting out your faith. And truthfully, I think the fear is they will not accept it, and so we don't bother doing it. but you're doing it and you're not getting any hate speech. Like,
yeah, I really think it's more about how we look at ourselves as Christians.
Okay.
All right. So if you're really concerned about what people will say when you talk about Jesus, you're actually more concerned about yourself rather than what you say.
Okay. Yeah.
So it is more about how people see me, rather than how would experience God's love through me.
Yeah, true.
All right. So if and it's not the disease, truthfully. I mean, what we carry is life.
Yeah.
So it's not a disease that you're really ashamed of.
Yeah.
Are there times at least as you're working in the corporate world, are there ways where you don't shove it into people's faces? Is there a way where you can present that in a less condescending manner? Because I've heard people say some Christians are always beating people down, they don't always want to listen. You know, so, and I mean, I've talked to the agnostic people and I've shared my faith with the agnostic people, and like I'm agnostic, I'm like, that's really, really good. We just really talk about what they do, and I say, this is my own stance.
Okay.
I'm not really pushing down what you believe, but this is what I believe in. This, it doesn't make sense to you. This is something you can really understand, and that's just how we relate. So if we really see that as our identity, that this is what Christ makes us, rather than I think if I bring Christ into my life, this is what it makes me, it's not a remix, like it's not my life and then a part of Christ's life. Or I think if I bring this part of Christ in, if I start talking about this, people will think I am spooky, I am all of that. You get, let me just not talk about it, let me just say I'm a believer. Let me say I just believe in the universe. No, you don't believe in the universe, you believe in Jesus Christ, the Son of God, and all that. So just buttress that point, I think it's a question of, are you still thinking about how people would see you, rather than how much of God's love can people really feel, experience, and see through what you do and what you say. Definitely.
That's really amazing. I think I've heard of somebody that says that he or she, he prays for every opportunity, like God give him an opportunity to like push the word to somebody at work today. And I think that's a very good place. Like you're going to work, you're not really going there to like shove this idea on people's face and all of that. But you're just like going to and opportunities always come. Like somebody just come and ask you a question and then you're like, whoa, I see an opportunity right there. I think it's very important and very good. And truthfully, we're not carrying a disease here. What we're carrying is life.
Truthfully.
It's a life, and so we shouldn't be scared to share the life that we carry.
Definitely.
Shouldn't be scared to share the life that we carry. Thank you very much for that amazing question. Okay, I would just like to ask, is there anything like you like to advise people in your workspace that, they're believers, but it's kind of hard, and one thing that you said was you were able to talk to your people that okay, you go to church this time, and so they shouldn't expect you to be at work, and it worked for you. But like a lot of people will not be able to attend weekly services, in fact Sunday services, because of work.
Yeah, it's a very dicey question, because there are a lot of thoughts about that, really, about what does it mean to, like, if you don't go to church because you have work, does it mean that you still love Jesus and all of that? Is it possible that your service in church, if you're a leader or something, if you're really active, does it really affect your work? I think for me it's a reflection of your personal understanding of the life that you have on the inside.
Okay.
It is how confident you are in what you have believed, and this confidence does not come from anything in yourself. It comes from the Holy Spirit. It's the Holy Spirit that convicts us of the righteousness of Jesus Christ. And so, firstly, I don't think anyone should feel bad that they did not attend church because of work.
Okay.
Given the circumstances that you are not able to, like probably it's a very tight situation, you're not able to make it. You should still be confident in the fact that God still loves you. But in the case that people that really work, that I think 30 minutes or 1 hour would not really hurt work. Would not really hurt work. You should actually go for it. And one of the things that I think I've learned is that actually the Holy Spirit grants us a strength. I'm not talking about just abstract strength. I'm talking about real physical strength. Like there's a place where there are instances where I feel very tired, like very, very tired from work. But I really want to experience the presence of God. Like you really want to feel like sleeping. Like it really happened like some few days ago. I wanted to really sleep and I was really yawning. I'm like, I'm tired. I've been sitting up all day, and I would actually want to pray. That's why I say it's more about your personal conviction about this reality of Jesus, the reality of his person, the reality of what does it mean to me when I get to pray, when I get to fellowship with this life. Like, if you begin to think about that, I think it gives a sense of importance to that particular activity, like going to church, like pray, like studying your Bible and all of that. And so that it sort of drives you to want to do that, even though you're tired. And I'm just adding that on top of that. If you're actually in this strength, like if I'm really tired, like God, I'm really tired, but I really want to pray. I really want to speak to you because it really helps me, you know. It helps keep my mind renewed. It helps me focus. It keeps me focused on Jesus and all of that. I literally felt strength. Like where the strength came for prayers for like 2 hours. Like I actually spent 2 more hours doing that. And there are cases, I know people say that there are cases where sometimes I know there's work, but I just feel this weird leading to pray, and I think I can truck this. And what I have discovered is, say the task I was about to do would take me 3 hours, and I just pray for 2 hours. So that means I'm losing on. I'm already losing 2 hours of work, and 1 hour is almost impossible. But that's where Jesus actually works the best. I mean, it says strength is made perfect in our weakness. There's no way I'm able to do that work. And what I've discovered is that sometimes I do that in 30 minutes. I don't understand how it does. I mean, I don't understand how it works, but I know that what I do is I come back and say, Jesus, like deadline is almost like, I'm not saying that because, but I really love that, but I know you can help me with this. I know you can make me not do stuff that I don't need to do. You can't make me, for example, I have to do research. I'm like, Jesus, please don't let me go into the rabbit hole of Google. Don't let me click something. And it's not spooky. I just feel this leading. I'm just doing stuff because I believe what I am saying. Like Jesus is really, really there to help me. And I figured out that I'm done with the task, and it's not just done, it's really, really good. And so once I saw that could happen, and it's something that I could leverage on, I just began to leverage it. And I began to create more time for the things of God. I'm not saying like do what you have to do for work, like be excellent. That's one way to really show Jesus. But at the same time, I do not think work should be prioritized so much so that it snuffles your spiritual I don't want to say spiritual life, like your spiritual growth in that sense. Like your fellowship with God is really, really key. And you sometimes, if you know that you're supposed to be at work, I'm just saying this, if you know that you're supposed to be in church, but you cannot leave, there's something you could do in that time, like in nice church time. You can consciously, as you're doing your work, you can begin to consciously like be praying, or if there's an online thing, plug in your ear. You get like just really, really try to find like ways to make sure that you are paying attention to that will I call it that integral part of your life, like those activities that form this whole engaging with the life that Christ gives us. So like praying, studying the word,
that is a whole lot to take. But because really, and when we're talking about how that you prayed and then what time you went to do for like 3 hours, you get to do it for like 30 minutes, man. If you did not give into that prayer, you won't have seen that part. You won't have seen that part really. And I don't think that God is that kind of person that when you spend so much time with him, then you lose everything. No, the truth is when you spend time with God, you gain everything.
Definitely.
You gain everything. And knowing that when you're talking to God, you're talking to a bank of wisdom, a bank of insight, creativity, everything. So you cannot come back from that space, you can't come back from that intelligent conversation and now go back dull. It doesn't work like that. So I think getting to know this person of Jesus, it just affects the way that you will respond to him in respect to whatever that you're doing.
Definitely.
Because if you're a creative, you know that talking to God will help your creativity. I mean, I've had times where I really wanted to get some equipment made for a client, and I really didn't know how to cut it seriously, and I connected the clothes with my full chest, and then I just put the clothes on the floor, and I'm like, I started praying in tongues, really. And after I prayed in tongues, it wasn't like I had anything spoke. I just went to sleep. But the next morning, somehow I just knew what to do, how to do it, and it came out perfectly well. So even at work, like there's something called God's speed. Like he just gives you speed, the strength, and all of that.
Even if it means someone will just come, hey Isaac, are you having troubles with that? Like I heard like you're supposed to do that. Can I just help you?
Just help you?
Like it could, when I said 30 minutes, it might not necessarily be that all I had to do was just myself. Sometimes it can be, hey, what do I need? What do you need from me? How can I help you? And the workload just gets divvied up into like bits, and I'm like probably doing less than nothing. You get.
I think that we need to know that God has our best interests at heart.
Definitely, I think
we need to know that, so that you not think that you're just wasting time.
True.
Or you're just like whining away time, like, so I have to go to church now. No, he has your best interest at heart. So every time you show up in his presence is for you. It's mostly for you. Your transformation, your growth, and everything that you need for life. Wow, this is a big one. This is a big one. I'm really happy for this opportunity. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I'm sure that you are blessed, because even me sitting here, I'm blessed. I'm going back home with a new mindset. Thank you so much, Isaac, for coming. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can follow him on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok to get amazing content. He has a Twitter space, so you can join prayers. It's always amazing. Yes, you can join him on WhatsApp too. He has a WhatsApp call. I'll put the link for you in the description below. Thank you so much for joining.